Hi and welcome to the first video in this new mixing for beginner to intermediate level users. Basically what this is going to teach you is once you've got your specific components of your track sorted out, maybe you've done your arrangement, everything's finished, really how to mix the track properly, how to make sure that your bass line fits with your kick and your bass line fit with your snare and your closed hi-hat and your open hi-hat and your percussion, how to make sure that your lead fits with your kick and your bass but it also fits with your other leads and your pads and maybe your sound effects. We're going to try and cover pretty much everything. It's not going to be too long, maybe about 3 hours long this video. The first part which I'm going to do now is going to cover your basic volume mix or a basic level mix and some panning settings also. And depending on how long that video takes, we'll either move on to a new video or I'll show you something else. So what I've basically got here is bass line, kick, snare, hi-hats, etc. Couple of leads, a percussion loop there, crash, reverse crash, more leads, couple of pads. The point of this is to show you how to make these all fit together nicely within the audio spectrum so that nothing's muddy, nothing's being masked by something else. It will get quite complicated when we start talking about things like masking, and we'll start to use maybe some strange methods that may seem odd at first but will start to make sense. Now I've converted all of this to audio from VSTs. I will supply the audio so you guys can use it if you like, but you can do this with anything. At the moment it's still very basic. It's only a bass line, some drums, a percussion loop, a couple of leads, a pad, so there's no sound effects or anything in there yet, but I just want for you to understand how to put all of these elements together and how to make them fit together properly. Okay, I'll let you hear what it sounds like. Now, if I just bring up my mixer, and by the way, it's irrelevant whether it's Cubase, Logic, Ableton, Reason, whatever, it doesn't matter. It makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. Let me just hide a few of my... Okay, so there's all of my channels. As you can see, there's nothing on here yet. There's no inserts or anything yet. But what I have done is put my master to -10. Now, that's preference for me, it's just the way I like to work. Some people like to have it at 0 decibel and have their kick at -10 or -6, whatever. The reason I like my master to be at -10 is so that I can mix my channels here to the utmost level and still leave myself plenty of headroom. Now you'll notice for this example, all of the channels are stereo. Now, most of the time, when you're using things like closed hi-hats and open hi-hats, yeah, most of the time you want them stereo, but sometimes you'll want things like your snare to be mono. So I'll show you how to make sure that all of that is correct and in mono or stereo depending on what the drum is. So the only thing I'm going to tell you to do right now, again it's up to you, you don't have to do it this way, but I always put my main channel, my main stereo output to -10. Right, I'll let you hear it now. I'll let you hear how it sounds absolutely unprocessed, completely dry. So here we go. Okay. Doesn't actually sound too bad. Now, the reason it doesn't actually sound too bad at the moment is because one of the most important things I believe in producing any kind of music, but especially electronic music, is pick the correct samples to start with. Don't get yourself a really wicked sounding bass and then go and pick a disgusting kick, a kick that just doesn't even come close to fit. I'm not saying it has to be perfect because we can deal with that. But try and pick something that's close to your bass. As you can hear, they already fit quite well. And I've picked a decent snare, closed hi-hat, open hi-hat, crash and reverse crash. So if you listen... They already fit quite well. So as you can see, if I was to start with a not very good kick, a not very well thought about snare, some rubbish closed hi-hats and open hi-hats, it's going to be really, really difficult to make them fit together at some point. Not impossible, but it's just going to take you far too much time, too much effort, and you really want to be spending your time and effort on being creative instead of maybe spending 25 minutes and wondering why your closed hi-hat, you just can't get it to fit with your open hi-hat, and then realising that, oh, I could have used a better sample, you know. So take a lot of time, put a lot of effort into choosing your samples. Another thing that I like to do, now I've gone out and purposely picked a percussion loop that I know isn't really abusing any of the frequencies that are being used here. So now I know it is a hi-hat percussive loop, but even that is very distinguishable from the closed hi-hat. Very distinct. You can instantly distinguish the two, even from the open hi-hat. So as you can hear, it's still there, and I haven't done anything yet, so I'm taking my time to choose samples that will fit quite nicely together. Now, I've done the same with my leads and backgrounds and pad noises. I've made a point of choosing sounds that, as well as go with the bass and kick and the other drums, they also don't collide or clash too much with each other. So let's have a listen. So that's very distinguishable, and it's not chewing up anything else. Let's hear the next one. Very distinguishable. This next one. Again, perfectly, very simple and easy to hear, to distinguish. Okay, and the main lead. Okay, very distinguishable. However, you will notice probably that one there. Those two are very close. Subtle differences, but that was deliberate so that I can show you how to deal with sounds that are close together. And there should be another two that are close. Those two are quite close, but again, I can show you how to separate them, but they're subtly different enough that you really don't have to spend hours and hours and hours with extreme EQ trying to figure out why can't I hear this one and when this one's playing, and why is this one masking that one. And so again, be sensible, make your life as easy as possible, choose the right sounds to start with, and then when it comes to mixing, you will find it less work and you will get better results in a shorter space of time. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's all about having everything in its own place at the end of the track and being defined enough so that people will listen to something, and then the next time they listen to it, okay, they might hear little different bits and bobs, but they won't completely miss a melody or something. So, let's get on with it.